make the change at the quarterback position at home or coming out of the bye week. So I believe that probably at the second half of the season, Baker Mayfield will probably be starting. They didn't bring this young man there. They want Tyrod to start the season. Hugh needs Tyrod to start the season. He also needs Tyrod to play well to keep him employed for the start of the season also, because when you're 1-31, you can ill afford to get off to an 0-3, 0-4 start, Skip. It is imperative that the Cleveland Browns get off to a fast start. Therefore, Hugh Jackson will continue to coach this team. This is what I believe will happen. But you start looking at, they get the Chargers and they're at Tampa, at Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Atlanta. Then they have a bye, which is like November the 11th. I could see coming out of that bye week at Cincinnati, Baker Mayfield probably the starter. But in order for Tyrod Taylor to keep this job, he's going to have to be at worst case scenario 3-3, 4-2 in the first 6 weeks in order to stay in that job.
Okay. So, as often is the case on this show, your logic has eluded me. I don't get what your end game is here. I don't get what your game plan is, because I still think this team can be shockingly good, these Cleveland Browns. So if Tyrod Taylor starts, I do not think one time he will stink it up, because he's pretty good. He has proven over time to be pretty good. He's highly respected in that locker room. We got to see on Hard Knocks him go in that locker room with his what looked like a broken wrist or whatever, and we heard, it was revealed, his pinky was dislocated. So they snapped it back into place. I don't think it was too pleasant for Tyrod. No. And what did he say? I'm going back in the game.
Right.
And Hugh Jackson, what did he let him do? Go back in the game with a pinky that had to be not feeling real great, right? And he said his wrist was aching. So he goes back in and he plays pretty well with a bum left hand and wrist, right? So what did that show the team? That he wants that job at any cost, right?
Correct.
So again, if Tyrod starts the year, why wouldn't he finish the year? I don't get the logic of it, because he's that good, you know?
But if he's not, sometimes, Skip, it's not about stinking it up. Sometimes the quarterback plays well and you're not winning games and you need the backup to come in, who is Baker's the backup, but I'm saying you need a spark.
So by your logic, you should say that Tyrod should start the whole first season.
No.
Well, then you don't trust him. Then you don't really believe in him.
But here's the thing. I start Baker. He stinks it up. I'm 0-5. Then what?
He's not going to stink it up. I don't like your logic.
Okay.
You're looking at the negative. I'm looking at the positive.
Well, I was looking at the positive just a minute ago, and now you say you didn't like my logic.
No, you weren't looking at the positive. You're looking at it completely negatively. Well, we'll put Tyrod in there for a little while to get through. I'm going
to put Tyrod in there, hoping that he can do what he did, what he's done basically for his career, win some games. But sometimes, Skip, you don't. The quarter doesn't necessarily play bad, but you're not winning, and you need a spark. And maybe Baker is that spark. You hear a new voice in the huddle, a guy throwing things coming at you from a different perspective. Okay, maybe that's the case. We've seen that happen before. But
see, you're looking at it negatively for Tyrod. You're saying Tyrod won't be able to keep the job that he has right now. That's what you just told me. Right?
Skip. If Tyrod was Aaron Rodgers, we'd be talking about something entirely different.
Okay, but he's
if
not.
they thought Tyrod was the guy, they would have never taken Baker Mayfield. They would have taken Saquon.
Okay.
They would have taken someone else.
I'm on record. As much as I do respect Tyrod, and I always have, you can look it up or check the tapes, I still say Baker Mayfield's ceiling is higher than Tyrod's. So why would you stunt Baker Mayfield's growth by making him watch the first 5 or 6 games?
I tell you
why would you do that? Let him start now. Let his clock start now. Let him start learning on the fly, because I promise you, his psyche is not wreckable. He is ready to play in the National Football. Nope. I told you before the draft when I said I would take him number 1 overall, and they did. I told you he was the most NFL ready of those young quarterbacks. So what are the Jets going to do right now?
Sam Darnold looks to be the most ready to me.
Oh, does he? Well, they're going to throw him right into the
Throw
fire.
him in there because he look good. Have you seen him in the preseason?
So why wouldn't your logic apply to the Jets? Because the Jets have been
'Cause
struggling
Baker
too.
Baker-
You don't think Todd Bowles needs to win a few games to keep his job?
Because Baker
Josh McCown is a proven veteran quarterback that you can win a few games
never
with.
been to the playoffs.
Okay, but
Never
he can
taken a
win
team
some
to the playoffs
games, but
since
he's been
2000.
pretty good.
And you know what? He came in the league 2 years after Tom Brady. So he's been in the league 17 years and has never, ever in his long NFL career taken a team to the playoffs.
When has he been on a good team?
Well,
I don't know.
maybe he think about all the teams he's been
Josh
on.
McCown is a pretty
Maybe
good.
it's him the reason why the teams aren't good.
No, I think he's pretty good.
Have you ever thought of it like that?
So why wouldn't Josh McCown start the first 6 games and then you ease in?
Because Sam Darnold has looked better in the preseason than Baker Mayfield has.
That's wrong. Not to my eyes. Every time I watch Sam Darnold, I'm like, whoops, yikes.
Nope. Baker Mayfield, when Tyrod went down with that dislocated pinky, Baker Mayfield had an opportunity to seize that moment. He did not
Remember
seize.
that third down pass I showed you? Whew. It was a rocket. It was a rocket.
Skip.
Hey, he's got a better arm than Tyrod does. He just has a better arm. He's a bigger playmaker than Tyrod. Tyrod's not a playmaker. He's just a really solid NFL quarterback. Baker Mayfield has charisma that Tyrod doesn't have. Tyrod's a really good guy, but he's not Baker Mayfield when it comes to spark, when it comes to sort of spit in your eyes.
Tyrod a campfire. He ain't no spark. Campfire.
Oh, he's a campfire.
Yeah.
So you saw, we showed the video of what Baker Mayfield did to John Dorsey, who picked him number 1 overall when he impersonated him for the rookie skit, right? And what did he say on Hard Knocks? I think he told Troy Aikman on the field. Dorsey hated it. Well, it took guts, man. It took guts. That's the guy who doesn't care what anybody else thinks, who has a chip on his shoulder pads that he's had since he walked on at Texas Tech. He walks on and wins that job over 2 incumbents. Then he goes to Oklahoma, and they have a quarterback who just lit up Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, and he just says, I don't care. I'm going to beat him out. And he beat him out.
Well, won't you tell the whole story? Alabama was uninterested for being there because they had just lost the Iron Bowl, the Kick 6 game. You know that, Skip. They thought they were going to go to the national championship. It didn't happen.
Trevor Knight torched Nick Saban's defense in the Sugar Bowl and then lost his job to Baker Mayfield.
And then what happened when Trevor Knight went to Texas A&M? Got the brakes beat off him when they cared about playing because it was a chance for them to go back to
All right.
SEC championship. But we're talking about Baker Mayfield.
So Baker Mayfield, the last 2 years in college football, led the nation in QBR, the most efficient quarterback in the nation for 2 straight years. And last year, he threw 43 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. And he threw for 200 yards in the first half against that Georgia defense before he got beat up and knocked around and nicked.
He really would have got nicked if he'd have played Alabama. He'd have got nicked.
He would have nicked Nick.
No, don't do that, Skip.
No, he would have. This kid he's got something. He's got that thing. He's the it factor, and this could be the it team.
This is what you do. You do like Sam Darnold. When they put you in the game with the 2s, you show so well, they got to put you in there with the 1.
Okay. Here's the problem. Here's the difference between Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold really, really cares about what people think about him, what everybody thinks, his teammates, his coaches. He's a real try-hard guy who sometimes tries way too hard. Baker Mayfield doesn't care what anybody thinks of him. He's just going to go beat your behind.
Well, you better care what they think about you. You better care what your teammates think about you because they're...
And John Dorsey are running a scam right now.
You know what?
They just want to buy one more year of honeymoon. Just leave us alone for a year so the clock won't start on the Baker Mayfield era until next year. That's what they're angling toward here.
But Hugh Jackson...
They want to save themselves.
But the clock is already started on the Hugh Jackson era. So in other words...
I think it starts now with Baker Mayfield.
No.
So if you start Baker, all of a sudden Hugh's on the clock right now. Show us something. You got the first pick in the draft. Show us something. They don't want that pressure until next year.
No. Yep. That's why we got a veteran. That's why we got Tyrod. Tyrod, bring us home. Bring us to the nice and steady. See, I mean, you could have one of those little hot shot pilots and all this, right? I just want you to nice and smooth.
You know,
pull me to the gate.
With Tyrod, they might have a chance to win. I don't know.
See, you want all those aerials. You want all those aerials spinning all up in there.
I want stunts.
No. We don't do no stunts.
I want stunt
nice
throws.
And smooth.
Yep.
Nice and smooth.
Baker Mayfield, I always tell you, he's a careful gambler. He's a low-risk risk taker.
No.
That's what he is. Low-risk risk
No,
taker.
that's
He
oxymoron.
tries things where you say,
Careful
what are
gambler.
you doing? And it's complete.
Gambling in itself by nature.
Think about this, 43 touchdowns to 6 interceptions? How do you do that?
Well, he didn't do it in the NFL.
Well, nope, he hadn't yet. But boy, every time I see him in the preseason, I see that team come alive.
Every time I see old Tyrod, I don't see any mistakes.
I don't either.
See him making nice throws.
And he was hilarious in that rookie
He was
skit. I laughed out loud. He might have a future in acting.
He might.
It might be there.
They copied us because, we started that in 2001, and they saw the rookie skit that they did of me. They imitated me and Coach Billick. That's where they stole that from.
They stole it
They
from you?
stole it.
So now
Inspired.
Wait a
was
second.
inspired
You're
by
taking
you.
credit for Baker Mayfield's Oscar-winning performance?
No, I'm saying the way they performed their rookie show, they stole that idea from the rookies that imitated us in 2001. We were the first Hard Knocks, and that's what our rookies did. They did a skit. They imitated me. They imitated Brian Billick, Goose. So that's where they got it from, and you know it.
Let's
I
keep
don't
going.
know it.
It was
You do
entertaining.
know it.
It was great. But we're moving on. Will Teddy Bridgewater become the next